Welcome to my to an attempt at making a model to predict stock market prices. And so far, I don't have too much here. Most of it's probably going to be changed because the code isn't great. But currently, I have uh, uh, this folder with my source containing with a scripts folder that runs my source code. Obviously, very basic uh, folder structure. And this is what the pipeline looks like right now. And this will give me simulations of the positions where it returns capital, the return, and equity, along with the time for each value. And this is coming from my data class of bar, which stores bar values, the timestamp, open value, the high and low values, what it closes at, and the volume here. And the settings for this is in like loading the settings. This is for data later. Um, Not too important at the moment, mostly because my data is fake currently. Um, just to make sure that the back testing is correct. Uh, and that's really about it for what I have going on so far. Fake strategy, of course, um, and that's about it. This is the code that makes fake bars, and this is just doing the simulation based on the fake bars. Again, a lot of this will be changed in the future because it's not very good, and its entire goal is to run on fake code. I just need to make sure that I have the right idea, and like this is kind of like the skeleton will be there. It just will not be um, it'll just be expanded on heavily. Yeah, and that's what I have so far. So currently, what I'm going to do is so right now I've been getting some errors, obviously before I started the recording, because I started this recording like after I'd already started on the first little bit of this project. I do expect this to take me a while, so um, when I do release this on YouTube, this will be for one my first video, other than one Spanish project I had on there before. But this will be my first programming YouTube video, and this will probably just become a series with, a few views, but, take what you can get. Um, so right now, I have to, I'm going to change my positions to be able to have store int values because when we want the positions, we want -1 for shorting in the future. Right now, I'm not gonna deal with shorting. But 0 if you are holding, there's no money, you're not selling, not buying, and then 1 to buy a position. Um, so so to be a bit more clear, if there's a 0 stored inside the list for a specific timestamp, that just means you're holding cash. You're not going to invest. You're not doing anything with your positions. It's just you're holding the cash. And if it flips to a 1, that means you have invested into the market at that timestamp. And that will update. You want to update your equity when you've invested, and your returns for when you've when your equity has changed. So back I've updated the positions to be set for ints, and I'm going to have to change it a little bit what in the strategy.py and the simulate.py. And I think that'll be all I do for today, considering it is 1:14 my time, and maybe one more if I'm feeling awake and stuff. But yeah, that'll be the plan for today. So let me go through and start changing this stuff, and I will do my best to commentate as I go about the changes that I make. And uh, if you see cuts in the video, uh, I am making mistakes and I'm just cutting them out, but I will be clear once I get it right and show you. But and maybe I'll probably keep in some mistakes because coding is not a perfect process, and people do need to know that. I am for before I start too much, a little bit of background. I am an undergrad in physics at a university. Haven't got my degree quite yet, but I've taken Python. I've taken a Python class, and I am taking a C++ class, which the C++ will come a bit later, as you can see there. But the C++ will come in the future, and I will be streaming these videos at CLXPZ Central with the X instead of the A. Um, that will be in the description of the video. Um, so if at any point I am talking to someone random, it'll probably be my Twitch chat. Um, but I don't have very many viewers on here since I'm still a nobody. But anyway, um, yeah, so I am going to be coding in two languages, C++, Python, and I am not. I wouldn't say that I'm the best, obviously, because I'm still mostly. I would say I'm an intermediate level uh, programmer for on both sides. Well, C++ I'm still a beginner, but I should after this will be a good bit of practice for that portion. Anyway, let's get started with the programming with that out of the way. So far I've already changed the positions to change to an int. So currently, the back test result will has a returns a data class with lists inside. The timestamp is a list of the date times. The equity is a list of floats. Returns are a list of floats as expected, and positions are a list of integers. And so I have two functions that currently change. That currently update the backtest result um, with their respective results. It's like with their respective results with the for that function, um, and stored it inside the backtest result class. So let's first start with. So I'm going to change the simulate positions. I'm honestly just gonna delete that. So let's begin. First, even though we've already done that, capital is equal to, we can just do that, that's fine. That's how I did it earlier, and it was working. The timestamps is equal to bar 0 dot timestamp, and then our returns is equal to 0.0, then our equity is equal to initial capital, and then timestamps is equal to the list of timestamps. Equity lists is just equal to equity, the list of equity, and then returns is equal to the list with 0.0 in it, or we could just do returns. It is also valid, which makes sense. And then for I in range length of bars, and we'll do 1 comma length of bars to choose which one is smaller, and then because we already have the 0th index here, so we are counting up from 1 to the length of bars, and we don't want to count 0 because we've already set the 0th index for these. So so we have the row return is equal to bars I.close over 1 minus, and then so if the position is equal to 1, So at the index, if positions is 1, that means we are invested and our equity will update. And then if it is false, the equity stays the same because we are not invested, so our equity will not change. And then we want to do timestamps. Append, we want to change that to the timestamp, and then wait, I believe that is an error because TS, oh, it's bars I. So we need to calculate, okay, and then TS is equal to bars I for I dot TS. And then, okay, and then we need to timestamp.append TS, and then equity list. Dot append our equity to the equity list. And then we need to return returns dot append then raw return. And then that should be good. And then let me save that. And then returns, position, yeah. And then this one, simulate buy and hold. So you're buying at the beginning, so the positions are 1. That's a time to like the bars because we aren't, that's not a boolean anymore. I changed it to an int. And we multiply that by the length of bars. So we have that, and then returns is equal to returns, positions is equal to positions. I believe, I mean, just for the sake of um, brevity, let me just control X there, cut that out, cut there, and then go back here, Control V, and then remove the comma. I put a period in there. Good job. Awesome. And then that's fine. Great. And then everything should look good there. So I believe that should be the end of simulate.py, if I'm not mistaken. And then go back to my run pipeline. Let me get rid of all this. This was all bad. And then my strategy, since it's not booleans anymore, it's a list of ints. And we are returning a back test result. And for this one, I'm not sure like how we're supposed to change our things because we are defining fake strategy and we are really only giving back positions. That is what the goal of this is, and we cannot leave it blank obviously because then you get a bit like the positional arguments. Since they're left blank, Python will throw back an error for not having enough positional arguments. I did not mean to do that. So yeah, I need to do positions of I is equal to 1, and then if it's false, positions I equals 0. That should be good. And then save that. Simulate buy and hold result, like timestamps. Yeah, I want that. We want to keep that there. And then let me see. Okay. And then let me do result 1. And then let me do result 1.equity, result 1.equity, result 1.equity. And then let me do result 2 is equal to result. Result 2 is equal to what was the name of that one? Again, simulate positions is equal to simulate positions bars positions then the other argument was initial capital, which I'm just going to do is equal to initial capital. And then I did not mean to do that. Let me change that to result 1, 1, 1, and then print that again for that, and then print result 2.equity -1, and then same thing there. Let me control S that. Let's see if it runs. Yay, it runs. Awesome. So strategy 2 worked a little bit better on this specific run because result 1, I guess, yeah, the value open was lower. Yeah, the close ended up dropping, so the equity was down. But the strategy 2 ended up making some, luckily. Lucky for that strategy. And yeah, so I knew that it would do that. So if I did this, so let me change the strategy to always be out. So let me do uh, positions uh, dot I is equal to 0. So that means it should give me a strategy where the uh, where it is always out, is always not invested. So I should see 1,000. My initial capital should stay the same. My equity should also be 0. Let's see how that goes. Yep, that went as expected. And let me do one more test where they should be the same, both strategy 1 and strategy 2, because you're always in. So let me do that. Yep, exactly as it should be. So I'm gonna keep it um, where they'll be different. Uh, just it's a personal preference, but obviously the code is saying if I is an even number, that this is the modulus character. If you did not know that, so if the index is if the remainder is 0, that means it's even. Any even number divided by 2 is 0. So if I modulus 2 is 0, then you're in, and then if it's odd, you're out. That is the base strategy there. And yeah, that is the basic strategy for this AI for this model. Whether you can call that a strategy is up to you, obviously. But that is the basic core of that. Uh, and then the simulate does work. So that is good. Yay. And then, and there was something I did end up noticing is I still had this bool uh, remnant from when I still had it as a bool at the beginning. I need to change that to an int. These don't actually change the actual execution of the code. Um, it's just like little notes to tell you this parameter position, this variable position, is just a list of integers. This bar is a list of the class bar, which is coming from type of this data class of bar with those values inside. And then that the initial capital is a float type. It's basically essentially telling whoever's reading the code what data type that variable is that you're inputting, just to make things a bit more clear. Because sometimes when you need to pass in an argument to a function, you need to know what the data type you need is. But yeah, so I did change that, and let me quickly take a look to make sure I didn't do that anywhere else. I shouldn't have. That was like the only time I mentioned that. I need to close that. Um, list positions is a list of integers. Yep. Yep. Awesome. So those are all right. And then let's see. Great. All right. So that'll be it, guys. That was the first video of mine going over um, the initial start of this project that I'm running, that I'm starting, um, and the general. So the general idea, I don't think I got to that, is to create a model that can predict the stock market. Uh, just if I didn't say that at the beginning, that's kind of the whole idea. If you want to stick around, see what the code is, I will also be posting my Git repository in the description as well if you want to um, clone it, look at it yourself, go through all the files, take a look. Go ahead. I certainly won't stop you, um, especially if anyone watching is actually good at this. Like I said, this is my first massive project like this, especially on my own, no instructors, no anything like that. So I'm interested to see how it goes. And I'm sharing it with the people who do end up watching this. So I'm excited to go on this. You can say it a journey, and there might be parts of it where I do not record, and that won't that I might end up explaining later that I just change this and then go on and go on and continue. But yeah, a lot of the stuff in here is probably going to be changed, especially the pipeline, of course, because most of that currently is just a bunch of boilerplate stuff to print out values that should be coming out, not stuff that's actually going to be used. And a lot of my functions are literally just running fake, like randomized values, just to make sure that the logic is good. So when I actually input real data, um, that it does end up working. And a lot of the data I'm just gonna get off from Yahoo, and I don't think I'm gonna make a video of me getting the data itself, unless by some miracle it is requested that I show you how I did it. Mostly because I cannot imagine that being very fun. I mean, I'll see how it goes, and then maybe I'll make a video about it. We'll see. But I'll probably end up having to do a lot of my own YouTube searching just to find out how to do it, because this will be the first time I use raw data from an online source like this. Because most of the times the data was already given to me for projects and the like to do. So yeah, that'll be fun. Uh, and that's about it. That's the plan for this video, for this video series you can call, that I'm sure not very many people will see, but to the ones who do, I thank you and would appreciate a like and a subscription if you feel like I am doing a good enough job. Once again, I thank you, and I will talk to you guys later.